Yeah, well, it's been a really significant 4 months, Steve, since we've been working together, and it's 4 months that really were a kind of line in the sand months for my business. I've been in business for 7 or 8 years, doing more or less the same thing. It's as regards to my consulting services, but I had a particularly, like many people, challenging 2020 and 2021. But unlike many people, most of it was of my own making. I was slightly ambitious with my goals and objectives during that time, and took on a lot more than I could chew. And so when I came to you around the opportunity with the mentoring through Vecchi, it just gave me time to sort of really look at period, that 9 to 12 month sort of period, and how I'd traversed COVID. As I said, it was like a line in the sand, right? And it was just getting a lot of clarity around my numbers and my focus. I think that's the thing. There is a number of things that I probably brought to you that I knew, and there is probably plenty of things that I brought to you, and then you sort of pointed out, well, there's things you need to learn, Steve, right? So I found it very challenging, in many ways to sort of, it's challenging to look at where you're at and to work out how you might get better and what the steps required to get better and the mistakes that have been made. So, really, I think you gave me train tracks, I guess, for want of a better analogy, in terms of, okay, so this is where we are. How do we get to where we want to get further down the line? Right. So, and really you gave me the tools and the focus, I think, to really say, okay, and holistically too, because we talked a lot beyond my personal, my business. We talked about family situation and that sort of thing. And, many people would, that plays into the reason why you run a business, particularly for a business like mine, where, family is important and how you blend it all. So realistically, my financials became, were very much a part of this journey, financials and understanding the financials and understanding where we want to get to with the financials. Secondly, whilst I am a marketer, you did give me that kick up the pants. I think at one stage telling me you need to go back to your books and think more like a marketer. And really getting back through, which is advantageous, not just for me, but I think the people that I work with, right? So just really being very clear with AIDA, and that path that we go through from a marketing and sales perspective. And look, I'm very, very pleased with this time where we are compared to when we first sat down, right? So both personally and business-wise, my financial circumstances are chalk and cheese. Financially, I am a lot better off. But more the point is, I'm really comfortable with where I'm heading and really confident with where I'm heading. And I think that's dramatic. And I think when you feel comfortable with where you're heading, you kind of get a little bit of unstoppable, which I have felt in the past. But I think this time I'm better resourced with regards to my knowledge and direction with where I'm heading for the future. So very positive. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the direction you've given me. So you don't just give out advice and then sort of, there you go. You basically, as I said, you give people sort of, as I said before, that sort of that train track, if you like, of how to get to where you want to get to. And realistically, there's a couple of people that I know you've spoken to now. I've been in business for a while, but I had no hesitation recommending a very close marketing colleague to you where he was starting out in a new journey. And I was thinking, man, how good would it have been to have spoken to Steve Wood early doors, right? To actually get that train track early. Now, it's not to say I wouldn't have made mistakes along the way. But I think if you can start out having a very clear plan and very clear sort of objectives of where you want to go to, and knowing how you're going to get to those stations along the way, I think that's what you provide. And so I would have no hesitancy, and I have no hesitancy in recommending you to people that are in business, whether they've been in business for a long time or whether they've been in business for a short time. I think you are very astute, and you're very, very practical in your advice that you provide.